Alright, let's look at this next USACO silver problem. Okay, so we have 2 barns, billion positions, 500,000, 50,000 cows, some position, they're moving, they have a weight. Okay, so if they hit a barn, they stop. If they hit each other, then they bounce off each other. Huh. So can we just simulate this? I don't know how to do this one. So if they all weighed the same, then you could do this trick where they just effectively pass through each other. But we actually do care about the weights. Well... Yes, okay, so you have the pass through each other. Property is still helpful. Okay, so what is the point here? So a key insight here is that the cows, 2 cows can never pass each other because when they meet, they just bounce off each other. So they're all going to stay in order. But you can also think about it as though they go through each other when they meet. Forget about the weights for a second. So if they go through each other, then they meet. Then you can easily see like how many cows end up at each barn, right? Just remember, all the cows start moving left, end up on the left barn. All the horses start moving right, end up on the right barn. And you can also figure out exactly when cows are going to get there. And because, and like that view is still true in real, even though they're bouncing off each other, if you just like, forget about the set of positions of cows follows the they move through each other rule. So the cows will, you can predict exactly when cows are going to hit each barn. And actually we know which cows are going to hit the barns because it must be that they can't go past each other. So, if a cow is getting to the left barn, it must be the leftmost cow. Okay, so now we've done almost everything. Except that we can actually, now we know how to compute t. But we still don't know how to figure out the number of meetings. Oh, can the cows pass each other? Okay, I don't think they can pass each other. I think they just meet at a half-integer point in time. Right, if 2 cows are right next to each other and they're moving opposite directions, they meet halfway through the time step. That's fine. Okay, so how many meetings are there? Okay, well that again, we can just, forget about the weights for that. And meetings is just crossings. Okay, so I think we definitely have enough to get started. And what do we have? We have N and L. And then we have W, X, and D. Wi, xi, di. Okay. E is going to be the list of events. It's going to be a pair. And do the prelude. Or using vectors here. And utility. I should have pair. Let's see. It should be on NSXI. Right, we're going to the right. We should sort E by time. Algorithm. That would be sum of the weights, because we want to figure out when we are strictly more than half, at least half. Okay. W done for the ones that are done. Let's see. Perhaps we want all of, let's just we want the cows sorted by are the cow positions all distinct? Yeah. Okay, good. Means we can take from the left. Okay. T equals first. Okay, so we computed T, which is not what they wanted, but you know, it's in progress. Of course, this doesn't compile. Okay, let's compile now. That was a very long error message for just that. Okay, so this is supposed to finish at time time 3. That's what the sample explanation says. What? The compiler is not an input, and I'm putting as input. W sum is 6. Seems to be correct. Ah, no, this is supposed to be empty, and we're going to fill it in. Okay, fine. Okay, so yeah, time equals 3. Okay, so now what do we do with time equals 3? We could just move all the cows and like run a yeah, okay, that's what we should do. Move all the cows, resort their positions, and then just figure out how many positions they moved. Like, so if cows start in the order 1, 2, 3, and then they end up in the order, say, 3, 1, 2, then we know that there must have been 2 meetings as 3 moved past 1 and 2. That sounds great. Yeah, I guess we only care about... So every meeting is going to be counted twice, once by a cow moving right, once by a cow moving left. So we can just count the cows that increase their positions. Okay, this works on the example. So let's give it a shot. This is a really complicated problem. Compilation error. const. Okay. Try that again. I guess some warnings too, but the error was mentioned something about constant operator less than. Yeah, this problem was pretty hard, I think. Still, man, this error is very hard to read. Why would the cow be const? Okay, it's definitely not supposed to be const. It's supposed to be a reference. Okay. Not const, just a reference. Maybe that was the problem. This compiler is a little bit confusing. Oh, it is supposed to be a const reference. Maybe I should try and do it as a friend function. Okay. Very unfortunate when you don't have the same compiler as locally as they do on the grader. I got one wrong. I got exactly one wrong. I see. Maybe it's because I forgot to count meetings at T. Is it okay to do t plus 1? Hmm. Okay, so if they're both going towards each other, I want the one moving right to count as further so that I do count that intersection. So it's less, d is less, I think. Yeah, that's right to me. Cool. Okay, tough problem. Yeah, so there's a nice kind of famous puzzle about ants moving on a stick left and right, bouncing off each other that I think this problem was inspired by, or is at least generalization of. I'll link that in the description. Yeah, so I think the insight here is, right, well, I mean, this is what I was talking about at the beginning, that you can think of the cows either moving past each other or, and also the fact that the cows can't move past each other, so they have to stay in order. So that tells you which cows reach the left and the right. And then for this bit at the end, we just actually moved the cows that amount. You know, again, we're thinking them again as moving past each other, and you know, your number of collisions is how many people you passed, and we're only counting sort of passes from left to right. You know, passes from right to left must be the same. Right? Every time two cows meet, two cows go past each other. You know, one of them gains a position, one of them loses a position, and because they never like change direction. You know, every time you pass someone, that person stays past. Right? There's no chance to go back. So you're definitely going to remember to count it at the end. So yeah, cool problem.